Hey everybody, The Great Escape here, and welcome to another episode on our Minecraft testing world. So you can see we're in our super flat world. This one's not the one where we tested all the villager mechanics in the last episode, but it's very similar. And in that last episode, we learned that the iron farms weren't working because the iron golems weren't spawning. But thanks to a update and a change, perfect timing. As you can see, we are now in the business of making iron golems and farms work. Well, let's let him die and we'll see where we're at. So this has been running for about an hour. It's not good, but we do have a working iron farm design. So in today's episode, you'll see a couple of designs that I've been playing around with, and then I'm going to do a tutorial on how to build one of them. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get right to it. All right, so the first design that I kind of played around with was a modification to that old design that you might see on a lot of old worlds, where you have a pod of villagers in the corner and two spawning platforms like this. And this does work, and so you could take your old design that you have that looks like this and modify it. What you would need to do is right here, where normally you would place the door. I think this is where the doors go on that level. You need to place a line of beds, and you would do 10 beds that way, 10 beds that way on both sides, and you'd end up with a village that works. I tested this out. It seems to work fine. So this is definitely a design that could function and be one that is active, but I'm not exactly sure what the spawning rules are for the iron golems, whether they spawn around the villagers or whether they simply spawn around the beds. And my guess is that it is a center point for the villagers. And so if that's the case, then we have a lot of space around here where the spawning platforms aren't being in use. The design that we're going to be playing with today goes off my assumption that the spawning zone is around the villagers, and so instead we're going to be putting our pod of villagers in the middle. Our beds go on the outside within the range of the villagers' detection, and there's a spawning platform 1 block above the beds and then 4 blocks below the bed. Alright, so in this chest we have all the ingredients that you're going to need to make that farm up there. And so let's go through them really quickly. You will need about 8 stacks of stained glass for the farm itself. Now, you can probably get away with 4 stacks if you only want to do a 1 high wall around the farm. There's a chance that the iron golems or the cats could potentially get on that one high wall and not get washed into the farm. So I recommend going 2 high. It does have to be glass though, because that prevents the golems and the cats from spawning on that space. You need about 14 blocks of any kind of building block that you like. I use iron just because it's easy to count for these videos, but you can make it out of cobblestone, stone, sandstone. Don't do dirt, but pretty much any other block that you'd like. You need 2 water buckets for an infinite water source, and this is to flood the whole farm. You need 4 trapdoors. Doesn't have to be spruce, can be whatever. And that's for the farm itself. So as you can see, pretty simple amount of tools. For the chute, you'll need about 3 stacks of glass. Now, the chute doesn't have to be made out of glass. You can make the chute out of cobblestone if you'd like, but I recommend glass just because it looks nice. I like to watch the things fall through. Oh, and for the actual farm itself, also, you'll need 24 beds. I wasn't going to put 24 beds in here, but that's for 24 beds. Now, for the killing chamber, you're going to need 4 signs of any type. At least 2 lava buckets. I'd recommend 4 lava buckets, but 2 is fine. 4 carpets, 4 hoppers, and 2 chests. Now, if you want to expand this into a storage system, you would obviously need more than 4 hoppers and 2 chests, but this is kind of the basic setup as it goes. So that's what we'll need. Let's go ahead and get right onto the building. A quick note on building instructions building locations before we get started on this. You want to make sure that this is far away from any other beds or villages. The villagers do have a radius where they can pick up the location of a bed. I think it's about 16 or 17 blocks. So you want to try to build this about 30 or 40 blocks away from your own bed or things like that, so that you make sure that the villagers aren't trying to pick up your bed in the construction, which could mess things up. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so the first thing we're going to build is our bottom stuff. As I typically do on all of my my farm designs and things, I try to show you how to construct it in the way that you'll probably be constructing it in your survival world, which is usually starting from the bottom and working up. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and kind of outline the space where you want this to go, and that's you know, some glass there and a chest. And then go ahead and take your hoppers and then crouch using R3 and click into those so that anything that falls into this hopper will get put in there, like that. And then go ahead and you can go ahead and put carpet over the top of it. Now it's very important that you make sure that fire spread is turned off, because if you don't have fire spread turned off, then the carpet will burn, and then there will be a perpetual fire on your hoppers, so you don't want that to happen. All right, and then you go ahead and put the glass up like this. You can put glass directly on top of the chest. Since glass is a transparent block, the chest will still open up inside of it. And you're going to go up like this to where we are 2 above the bottom floor. And then go ahead and put signs here and signs here. This will be to hold our lava. So any iron golems that land in here will have a lava thing in their heads. So this is our construction so far. All right, so next we're going to take this up, and now it's important that the signs go there, so that they are, you know, there's going to be a 2-block gap between the bottom and the where the lava will be. This will prevent any of your iron from being burnt up in the lava and things like that. Now, one of the problems with the new iron golem farms is that cats will spawn in the farm, and occasionally the cats won't die, and it can cause a kind of a cluster down here, and it can present a problem. So if you've made a farm in the past where you just had a single lava blade that the iron golems' heads were in, and that killed them, we're actually going to be modifying that a little bit. So your lava is actually going to be 3 blocks high, and you can take it up to 4 and that'll be okay. But this is the level that you put your lava in. We're not going to put it in there now, because if I was building this on survival, the last thing I would want is a pool of lava right there for me to fall into. All right, so just to review, you've got your 2x2 chamber here with your hoppers pointing into a chest topped with carpets. 1 block above that, you place your signs, and then there you go. So from this spot here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. We want to take that up to at least 22 high, 22 blocks high. All right, so the next step, let me go ahead and grab iron. You just need iron. From here, I'm going to put iron like this, and I'm going to go out, including this block, 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll do that on all sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to connect all that like this until you have a platform that is 8 out from all of those, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we've got our platform, which is 8, 9, 10, 16, 18 blocks by 18 blocks, I believe. So 18 by 18, and with a 4x4 hole in the, or 2x2 hole in the middle. The next step you want to do is grab your glass, and we're going to go ahead and build a border around this. Now, at the basic level, you need a 1 high border. Might recommend going to 2 high. I've noticed on like 1 occasion a cat spawned and got on the glass, which leads me to believe that it is possible that an iron golem could spawn and stand up on the glass instead of going in there. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 2 high just so that we have the most secure version. Now I've got a 2 high glass wall. In each of the corners, you can use your building block like this. Go ahead and put a space or a thing that looks like this in each of the corners. If you've built the old iron farm designs before, then you will recognize this pretty much immediately. This is how we flood this whole platform. And then go ahead and grab your water buckets. And this is where you'll need your 2 water buckets to do your infinite water source. Let me go ahead and do this in survival, because it's not quite the same when the water buckets don't go away. But I'll show you in survival mode how this works. Place a water bucket there and another one there, and then you can grab there and then place, and just keep skipping to and then going back to grab like that until you've gone all the way across. And you can make sure that they're all water sources like this, but as you can see, you just need a 2x2 water source, and you can do that. So then you can grab from there, place there, 2, and again you just go across like this. Alright, so once you've got it all, you should notice that all the water is going towards the center, with the exception of one block right here. So in order to get that, we're going to place a water spot right there, and then you can get rid of these blocks underneath, like so. We've got our spawning our first of 2 spawning platforms there, built and constructed like this. So let's go ahead and move on up to the second platform. Alright, so from this center space, we're going to go ahead and build up 1, 2, 3 blocks like so. So you'll have, and go ahead and you can put a kind of a 2x2 here like this. If you'll notice, it kind of creates this. Now, if you're immediately going, well, iron golems can't go underneath there, that's fine. That's why we have our trapdoors. So if you go ahead and grab those trapdoors right now, go ahead and place those on top of these. And you can go ahead and break that if you want, but you don't have to. All right, now on the outside of this, we want to build a containment unit like so. And this is where your villagers are going to go. And then make that at least 2 high. Whoops. Like that. And then I've gone ahead and put a roof over their heads here, like this. And it might be a recommendation to go up and do upside down slabs instead. But again, this is there to protect them from lightning strikes, because lightning causes them to turn into things. But you can do it with just glass, and that's okay. But you can do it with that. And this is where our villagers are going to go like that. So this is our containment module. So from this point right here, so this area that here is the villager's head space. You're going to go out 1, 2, 3, and get rid of those blocks, and you'll have this. And then you can go ahead and create a block of that around on all sides. So you want to be 2 blocks, so you have a 2-block gap between that space there and any part of this, so like so. All right, so now you've got a kind of this area here, and then from there on all sides you're going to go out 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and do the same thing on all sides. So we got the next level on, and this is where I'd recommend going and putting in the beds. And it might be a little bit difficult. I'd recommend just dropping some scaffolding blocks down the side. There we go, do this. You just stand here for a second and drop enough scaffolding blocks that you can get to this. But go to one of the sides and kind of go towards the center area here, and then right on this spot right here, right there. And you can do it from up here if you'd like. It's pretty simple. But you're going to go and place 2 blocks like that, and then like so. And you can get rid of these blocks. And you're going to have 12 of these blocks. And you can, if this is for your beds, so like I said, you want to have about 24 beds, so you could do 6 on each side. You can do 12 on 2 sides. Completely up to you how do you want to do this. If you want symmetry, you can do the 6. I'm just going to go ahead and do the 12 on 2 different sides. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let's do 6 on all sides so that we know that they're very close to the villagers. So it's 1, 2. Okay, so this is our center spot. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. And then you kind of fill that out, and then grab your beds. And you can place those down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and and make sure you get rid of those blocks, because otherwise it's a chance that things can spawn on those. So you want to go ahead and do that on all 4 sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we have our beds in space. So you can see that they're all floating there. And like I said, it's not super pretty. All right, next, you want to ring this all in again in a 2 high tall wall of glass. Let me do that. I'll be right back. So we've got our glass. I'm going to go ahead and put our blocks here in the corner like so, and all 4 corners. And we're going to do the exact same thing with our water that we did before. All right, so as you can see, our water flows all the way down towards the center, but stops before it falls in, and then that would lead down. Now, the last step is going to be to add our villagers in here. Now, you'll know that your farm is working once you see cats. They're going to be the first things to spawn, probably. But cats spawning in on the spawning platforms. And one way to double check to make sure you've built it properly is that you just watch it to make sure that you see cats spawning on both levels. But let me go ahead and... oh, wait. Before we add our villagers in, let's go ahead and finalize the killing chamber. So you want to come down here again and grab your lava. And we're going to put our lava in. Now, we're not going to put our lava at this level right here because that'll be enough to kill the golems, but occasionally cats will fall through it and they won't burn to death, so you'll have a bunch of cats rolling down on the bottom. So my recommendation is to create a 3 high tall lava blade. You can create a 4 high tall lava blade. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to kill the iron golems before they get to the bottom. So let's go ahead and break out here, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 lava, like that, and it's going to flow down. And you now have a lava blade. Let's pop in our villagers. Now, you need to have at least, I think it's 11, at least 11 villagers in. I'm going to put 15 in, and then we'll let the system run for 30 minutes and see what we get. But you'll know that the system is working once you have cats spawning. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. Oh, there we go. We got a cat already. Now, the beauty of this, as this cat falls through the system in just a second, and they fall to their death. Down here. Cats also drop string. So not only is it an iron farm, but it's also a string farm, which is great because now you don't have to worry about spiders. You can just farm cats and also get iron as an offshoot. So let me go ahead and let this run for 30 minutes. It has been about 40 minutes or so, so it's closer, well, not really closer to an hour than 30 minutes, but there, as you can see, we have a iron golem in there. So I'll let him die, and then we'll see what we've got in there. 25. So 25 iron in about half an hour. So again, it's not as fast as our old designs that you might have found before Village and Pillage, but at least we do now have the ability to get iron in our worlds. Ways to mess around with it. Oh, wow, another one. That's really quick spawning on that. That's good. Ways to kind of get around that. Hopefully, maybe building another one of these up about 100 blocks above this one maybe will increase the efficiency. I'm going to play around with those things, and you can play around with those in your world as well. Let me know what works for you and what you discover as you go. But I did want to get out a get out a video to kind of show you all what you could expect to see in your world and how to build it. Please, if you build it, leave a comment to let me know how it's working and any design changes or things that you make. But thanks so much for joining me today. This has been The Great Escape. If you liked this video, please drop a like down below. It really does help the channel. And if you really liked it and want to see more content like it, please subscribe. But this has been The Great Escape, and I will see you next time.